in the World Championship semi-final. Darren Nicholas, this is where the real leaders in the team. Didn't make a mistake. Scotland went early, trying that extra bit, trying to jump the whistle to take advantage. Darren Nicholas kept his cool and comes up with possession. Each face-off now is vital, and Darren Nicholas is really playing a captain's role for Australia. Carter behind to Brown. Sear. This is Nicholas with the matchup with the short pole. Again, good patience. There really is no need to force. Don't accept the first shot. Look for the best shot. Jacob Egan pulls it out. Just as they're changing, substituting the midfielders on the fly. James Watson-Galbraith takes a step, rejects the shot, pushes it wide. There's an example of what you were saying earlier, Ashley. It's a 25-yard pass straight to stick. It's great being able to spread out wide and make the defence come out and play you, but you have to be able to handle on the run, not the 5, 10 or 15-yard passes, but the 20, 25-yard passes, just as comfortable as you would a 5-yard pass. Great example there from Adam Sear. Looks to take the step. Saved by Harris. Nice check. Number 6, Lane Lumber, unfortunately gets called. Callum Watson, the ball goes outside the box, so they lose the advantage on the flag. But Callum Watson right in front of the referee decided that that was a slash. So it's Australia on the extra man opportunity. Scotland switch their unit out to make sure they get the right people on the field. Flips the ball up top to Anson Carter.
It's one of those repetition fouls, isn't it, Dave? I think they would have given him the one on the free arm. He came back for a second helping, and then he was like, oh, you know what?
Yeah, but
some dessert I'll have. Third one was flag.
Again, we can't hear the audio actually down from the field, but you quite often, the referee will actually tell you to hit wood. That's giving you the warning that, yes, I've seen that one, you've got away with one, but get it on the stick. And that, as you say rightly there, if he'd played 1 or 2 checks, he could have got away with it. But that third one, it's like, thanks, but no thanks. And they made the call.
Well, I'm desperately trying to think of a way to complement the Scottish long sticks without jinxing them immediately into conceding a goal. They have stepped up hugely in the last 20 minutes. You know, on paper it looks like Australian speed might give them real issues on the perimeter, but that long stick group, the 3 close defensemen particularly, done a really good job of just siphoning away pressure along the perimeter, passing off players, making sure that the ball doesn't get inside. And you know, now the Scottish offense has this foundation where they know that there's plenty of time in this game. They can go out, do their thing, create, try and take a chance, and it's not necessarily going to have the ball rammed straight back down their throat by the Australians.
And it's a score! Oh, Jordan McBride, quick dish, give and go. They pass it to Jordan McBride, he threw it straight back. The Australian defence just watching it around the perimeter. The slide was late getting there, and that's a 17-yard shot. Stick side high past Stephen Mackey. In the lights, he lines it up left-handed. That's looks like Brendan Healy, I think, with that shot. Get confirmation on that. Scotland 9, Australia 11. With the face-off, each one is vital. This time, Darren Nicholas again, super pick-up by Will Pickett. Darren Nicholas bodying the Scotland midfielder James Slade off the ball. He was actually on his knees at that point. Couldn't pick the ball up himself, but Will Pickett, appropriate name, picked it up right in front of him, and then off to the races. And Nicholas again, senior leadership, and draws the late hit. Number 25 for Scotland, Rory Marsden. Although this could be a big moment. He's a tough old bird. Darren Nicholas runs in, takes the responsibility of making the shot, buries it bottom corner, stick side, and draws the penalty.
Yeah, it's really experienced play. If you look at the way the other Australian midfielders drift away to the backside of the crease as he floats over the top, all those inside helpers get dragged away, and he can free his hands. Slide was there late. Good finish low to low.
It'll take more than a late hit to drag Darren Nicholas off the field. The referees didn't call that as being after the goal. Otherwise there would be no face-off, but Darren Nicholas is right there. He realised the importance of this game. Yeah, there was the late hit, so that was Callum Watson, I believe, with the late hit. It could have been Douglas Freeman. Number 15 or number 6?
I think it was Rory Marsden.
Number 25 is actually in the box. That's Rory Marsden. So Scotland have another man down. Penalties becoming vital here. They can seal this one. Outside shot and goal. Super finishing. They've gone to their leaders on their team. Adam Sear, I believe it was, with a low to high finish. Curls out. Low to low, actually. On the man up, they're taking an outside shot. Again, Egan dishes the ball, he drives to his right, throws it back left, trying to get the Scottish defence to rotate. And Adam Sear takes responsibility, makes a play. Scotland 9, Australia 13. 13 minutes, just over 30 minutes left in the game. So having been within 2 goals, it's now back to a 4-goal lead for Australia.
Yeah, they just need to not panic. They need to understand that the game's going to ebb and flow, and sometimes you can't control those things. You know, it just becomes more and more pressure. Every possession is worth more and more. So you just have to mentally steel yourself and defend here. They've shown that they can defend the Australians in settled situations. So they just need to make sure they get through this phase of play, make a turnover in some way, shape or form, and then get at the other end of the field and do what they've already been doing.
Nicholas on the ball. Just switching positions there with, that's Matt Garnsworthy. And another goal. Just little 3, that's pure midfield play. Gareth Allen, if you watch here, the 2 midfielders up top rotate. Gareth Allen pops off the crease. So you've got 3 defenders all chasing their tail there. Gareth Allen gets his hands free, catches the ball, and again it's a low release on the shot.
Yeah, Ethan Harris isn't even seeing the ball. I mean, he steps out the goal, arms in the air in a questioning manner. I don't know if it's the lights, Dave, I don't know if it's something's changed in the way the background he's seeing it, but last 3 shots are low to low, and he hasn't got close to any of them, so you know what's coming next.
It's one of the things you really notice when you get to the top level teams. When they see a chink in your armour, they just go back to it and go back to it time and time again until you solve that problem. This is why I was really hoping that David Gill, who stepped up with 2 great individual efforts, 1 a goal, 1 an assist, that Scotland would go back to him. Egan inside. The Scotland defence are all pointing at each other. That's Anson Carter with the finish. Scotland 9, Australia 15. Jacob Egan gets the ball at X behind, drives upfield, crease slide, no cover inside. Anson Carter, quick stick finish. Ethan Harris had no chance there. No real need to leave the man. He was going away from goal, he hadn't turned the corner. The crease slide went, which is fine. There was no second slide, no help. Crease man just followed his slide, wide open. There's experience there. The Scotland just lost communication for a second. And right call by the Scotland coaching staff to have a timeout and just to refocus. Scotland 9, Australia 15. 10:48 left in the game.
You can tell from the body language of those three Scottish close defenders. Number one, they're tired. It's a different tempo. It is a different experience playing Blue Division lacrosse. They're now in the middle of the fourth quarter. You can just see that the legs are heavy and they can't talk it through. They can't process the Australian offense quickly enough now to do all the things they've been doing thus far. And Scotland absolutely have to have this next possession. I think that the defence is starting to creak, and once that dam breaks, there's not enough time for them now to get back into this game.
This is where all those hours of practice, being in a situation where you practice where the defence is 2 goals down, there's 2 minutes left, so you have to go and press the ball, or the attack is 2 goals up with 2 minutes left. And a great turn-up, perfect execution. I don't think that was the play from the timeout, but obviously the calming words worked well there from Coach Kenny. Jordan McBride, fast break, catch and release, 12-yard finish. And again, Steve Mackey was virtually on his knees there.
We've got to credit James Slade. He comes on, hasn't been hugely involved in the game, but gets a quick, clean forward face-off off Darren Nicholas, which can't be that easy to do.
And another one by James Slade. Tempted back heel. Again, Nicholas comes through with the ball. That doesn't look good. Shot wide. Virtually grazed the post there. Coat of varnish off that one. Australia ball back line.
Yeah, when Nicholas gets going, he kind of looks like that Mack truck. I mean, you just can't get him to deviate.
Yeah, and there comes a point when just the individual matchups between the Blue Division teams. Bigger, stronger, faster. A good big un beats a good little un. But there's 5 goals in it. Scotland 10, Australia 15. Again, nice stick work running outside. It's the speed of ball movement that's causing the Scottish defence problems. They wouldn't have faced this sort of play, this pace of play, in the non-Blue Division games. As a cross-check called there, that's a 1-minute penalty.
Yeah, James Slade cross-checked so hard he lost his stick.
It snapped his stick. The titanium shaft snapped clean in 2. So in the old days, when it was wooden pole, that would have been firewood by now. The referee, I'm not sure the Scottish team would be too pleased about that. The Australian team making sure that it went off to the non-bench side of the field.
It's a long way away, isn't it?
What normally happens is that the broken stick will be retrieved and returned to the bench, so that the equipment manager, if they haven't got a stick ready to go, will just put a new handle on the stick, and so the head and the pocket that he's used to will be retained. That stick is now lying on the floor on the opposite side of the bench. And a turnover.
See, this is what gives you questions, or causes you to ask questions about this Australian team. They are up 5 goals, they have a minute penalty. They really need to eat that whole penalty right there. And there's a skip pass to nothing.
Windmill, yard sale, Anson Carter with a rusty gate, fakes it low to high, dips his head as he comes in, sticks it in the roof of the goal. Super finish, individual skill there, hard riding. If we watch this check, there's the end of the replay, just celebrating the goal. But Anson Carter, great individual effort. Anson Carter, all the way through this tournament, he started off with superb work. Goalkeeper steps low, tries to bring his stick back up. By that point, it's too late. Finishes just underneath the bar. Scotland 10, Australia 16. There's Josh Hamilton coming in, Will Pickett. Again, keeping a cool head. Darren Nicholas, the shot, goal. Darren Nicholas has seen all this before. Darren Nicholas to Adam Sear. The veteran players, the senior leadership on this team. You need your big players to step up in big games.
And that's what they're doing now, and you can see, again, the Scottish close defencemen just don't have it in the tank. They can't cover the ground to to chase down that fast break and make them make an extra couple of passes. And you know, the Australians have been here before. They have something in the tank. They can sense blood. They know that this game is nearly put away.
That's where he goes to body with a square check. That's where the square check is, where you have your bottom hand, your left hand on the bottom of the stick, your right hand near the head if you're a right-handed player, and you use the shaft of the stick to make a physical contact. There you use a square check, which is illegal in field lacrosse anyway. It's legal in box, and unfortunately he was suddenly left with two separate bits of stick. What was more impressive is that the Australian player didn't even twitch, didn't knock him over, he just snapped his stick. So this is where all the training, the weights, deflected shot, Dan Hayway trying to come out with another one there. Great riding by Brendan Healy. Again, Australia coming up the ground ball. Keith Nyberg for Australia. Watson Galbraith bringing it through the middle. John Tokarua stepping up there, fancying his chances of a shot. Thinks better of it.
What a finish that is.
Ethan Harris didn't see much of that one. Anson Carter. This is the guy who I believe scored 4 goals against the US out of the 5. Takes it sprinting at full speed away from the goal. Turn and shot on the run behind, away from the direction he's running. That's reminiscent of Mark Millen in his heyday. Sticks it top corner. Stick side high.
Such a difficult technique. It's really difficult to kind of describe how tough that actually is. To be sprinting away from the goal, turn your body to get the coil, the torque you need to then rip the head of your stick around over your shoulder and get the pace you need to stick that goal. Pretty special.
And to be able to do it in the World Championship quarter-final. There's the man himself, there's the MVP in my vote for today. Darren Nicholas catches the ball, right-handed, crosses over to his left. Here we see it. Scottish defender steps out to him, splits him right to left, takes the extra yard and just drops his stick low. Sticks it stick side low on the goalkeeper. Here we see, takes a slap check, buries it bottom corner with a bounce shot.
Yeah, Nicholas can sleep well tonight. He is essentially, when Australia have lost their way and they kind of meandered their way through the middle portion of this game, he just kind of picked him up on his short shoulders, and they're probably the broadest. Well, maybe Tuckeroo's got some pretty big shoulders, but you know, and has done it all. Face-offs, he's done it. Scored goals, he's created pressure. There's assists in there. You know, that's what you need. You know, and he's getting high fives and pats from his teammates. They all know as well that he's been the guy that's sparked them back, and all of a sudden you blink, and we have a wide scoreline again.
Scotland won the third quarter 6 goals to 1. Was it 6 goals to 2? 6 goals to 1.
6 goals to 1.
And now we're back. They've got within 2, and now we're back to a 9-goal difference. Their last time out for Scotland. And Darren Nicholas has done it all for midfield. Win the face-off. .404 left in the game. This really will be one serious comeback, but in all reality now, Australia will be feeling a lot more confident. Scotland had their opportunity. It was a crucial timeout called by Australia when Scotland had scored 5 goals on the run and they just couldn't get there. Could be called for warding.
Great effort. And the interesting thing about this is, you know, Scotland can take so much from this game. You know, no doubt they were underdogs. No doubt that, you know, they were going to go out there and give it their best. And I think that, you know, deep down inside, they will be a little bit surprised to have been within 2 late in this game against the Australians, and to really have forced the Australians into kind of a little bit of a shell-shock state for a while. You know, they couldn't maintain it, and that's more to speaking about their depth than anything. But they definitely played on this field with the Australians and kept up the level, and it gave them a big scare.
That's number 1 for Australia. That's Sam Bullock with the shot. Eaten up by Ethan Harris, and again it's a slow clear now. I mean, having spoken to a couple of the Scottish guys in their camp, they really fancied their chances today. They saw what happened with Australia v Germany, but they also saw what happened with Australia versus Japan. The mystique, or the factor that when Liverpool Football Club at Anfield, each had "This is Anfield," and most teams turned up at Anfield already expecting to lose. Well, previously when you played Australia in the World Championship, it was already a case of, you know, I hope we get close, but the Australia team will just run over you. Well, following that Japan game, a number of the players in the Scotland camp didn't think that they could win tonight. They thought that they would win tonight. They were really up for this game. All the squad were pumped up. Australia came out with a great start. Touch and go early on, and then Australia pulled away. And then they had that 5-goal run where Australia just lost composure. Throwing the ball over. Scotland was scoring on fast breaks. Unfortunately for Scotland, Australia have the individual players who, when the going gets tough, they stepped up their game. Adam Sear, number 12. Darren Nicholas. It's one from Western Australia, one from Victoria, and you can add Anson Carter from the Brighton Lacrosse Club in South Australia. This really is a national team. All 3 of those guys stepped up when they needed to and just helped put Scotland away. Dan Hayway with the hidden ball trick. Brendan Healy. There's Jordan McBride. Back to Brendan Healy. Off the pipe. John Tuckeroo. Again, give and go again with Healy. Assist to Jordan McBride. Brendan Healy. Super shot from about 12 yards. Ripped it into the roof of the net. Here we see on the replay. 23 ducks. And you can see the shot picks the corner off stick side past Steve Mackey. And in fact, the defender here acts as a screen. He lines him up and then just gets out of the way at the last second. Off stick side high. That's Ross Hamilton. But to be fair to him, it was 19-10 at that point. It's now 19-11. And they've got a semi-final coming up against Canada. So no need to take a shot to the ribs at that point. Scotland 11, Australia 19 with 52 seconds left in the game. And Australia will go on the man up. That's James Slade.
I think the classy thing to do here, Dave, is just to play this one out.
Well, you've obviously spent some time in America recently. There's different theories on what to do. If it's a close game, yes, then you should be killing the clock. It's the international lacrosse. These guys are all international athletes, and Australia, in effect, have got Canada soon. With it being man up, they may actually want to try one more practice game, a live game of man up.
I understand that, but
there's different schools of thought. But I think you may well be right in this one. I'll just pass the ball around. Maybe look for a shot in the last second for an outside shot. And rings the pipe. I think that's answered your question there. James Watson-Galbraith, low to high. He was looking for making the 20 against Scotland. They may be making a statement for future years that you thought you were close, and there it is. Adam Sear puts an exclamation mark on this game, puts it away. Classy, that's one word. I have no problem with Australia running their man up when they've got a World Championship semi-final coming up.
No, I think this is one of the situations where you could do it either way. You know, that's fine. I'm not gonna complain too much about that. I think, you know, 20-11. doesn't tell the full story of the game. I think that Scotland can take a lot from this game and hold their heads up pretty high. The question really is Australia, and who are they? And what is this enigma about? You know, playing sometimes but not all the time, and you know, clearly they're not the team they were 4 years ago. You can't replace Wes Green and Brendan Mundorf. They haven't done that. You know, they're a little bit older across the board, but they certainly have the ability, and in moments they can create that mystique. You know, of Australia being, you know, that team that's so tough to break down mentally and so tough to beat.